The following podcast may be explicit. Shedcast presents Adventures from the Shed, a tabletop RPG podcast. You can find us online at adventuresfromtheshed.com. Welcome to Part 2, Session 1 of the Dungeons & Dragons Starter Set Adventure Podcast. We begin this episode with each of our players giving a brief description of their character leveling up to 2nd level. Enjoy the podcast.
Make sure it's going. Yes, it's going. All right, so, hi everyone.
Hi.
I'm Joe.
Hi,
and I'm
Joe.
Hi,
Joe.
I'm a
gameaholic.
Yes. So, I'm Joe. I'm the Dungeon Master for the D&D Starter Set. We'll be starting Part 2 tonight. But first, we're going to listen to each of the players and how their character progressed as they got to level 2. Mike, go first.
So, in Sir Walter Moss's greatness, he leveled up last week, and as the complexity of the fighter goes, I gained Action Surge, which is basically a action point from 4th edition. So it's a bonus action that I can take after any other action, and it recharges after a rest. But other than that, I gained, looks like, 11 more hit points. So hopefully I won't die again this week. And on to Kurt.
I'm Kurt. I'm playing Thorin Stormstriker, the Dwarven Cleric. I also gained 11 hit points after a spectacular roll at the end of last session. My main advancement as far as my character goes is that I have gained an additional spell that I can have prepared. So I go from having 4 plus my 2 domain spells to 5 plus my 2 domain spells. And I gain a new spell, Channel Divinity, which is interesting because it's actually a 2-in-1 spell. It fuels one of 2 magical effects. Either Turn Undead, which can basically be used to make undead creatures flee if they don't make a saving throw, or Preserve Life, which is a variant on the healing hit points cleric spell that allows me to actually distribute hit points among players who are within, I think, 30 feet of me. So that's where I stand and ready to get going on the next part of the adventure.
JJ here, playing Ferris Dustbringer. This is the killingest member of the party currently.
Yeah.
I have one more than anybody else.
Rub it in.
I know, right? I rolled
Quality
very
over
well. I
quantity.
rolled a maximum hit points, so I now have 16 hit points, much better than the 8 previously. And I also gained a new spell, or a new spell slot anyways, and I gained the ability to be able to exclude parts of area of effect spells so that I can choose not to hit my allies.
Oh,
We
that's good for
appreciate
us.
it.
Yeah, hopefully he does choose not to hit his allies.
Right?
Nah.
I'm going to let that halfling take it this week.
Stupid wizards. Anyway, so I'm Mickey. I'm playing Bree Greenbottle. She's our female halfling in the group. And as she leveled up, she gained Cunning Action, which is essentially an extra move action in 4th edition. She has the ability to either dash, disengage, or hide once during her turn. So she is ready to roll.
Which is an
Rocks.
awesome action. The ability to hide at the end of your turn for a rogue is unbelievable.
Yeah. Especially if you're going to stay at range, you can make sure you get that line up that next sneak attack. And
She also
is
gained
that
an
a
extra
one?
6 hit points.
Is that a one-time thing, or can you
Once
use
per
that every
turn.
time?
Once per turn.
Wow.
that is
Who's
crazy.
got Rogue Envy now?
Uh-huh.
It is awesome.
All right. So what we have is the end of the end of Part 1. We had gotten through the Goblin hideout, defeated Clarg, rescued Sildar, and I'm not sure who will remember it since it's been a little while since that last recording, but there was some background that Sildar shared. I'll give you a couple of the highlights there. More than 500 years ago, Phandalin was actually a more thriving city. There was a Wave Echo Cave, this magical cave nearby, and the Gundren Rockseeker, apparently, according to Sildar, Gundren Rockseeker had claimed to have found a map that led to that place, and Gundren was bringing Sildar along for help during the ride to Phandalin when they got abducted and now he is gone. The dwarf has been abducted and taken somewhere else. Sildar does not know where, but has asked you guys to bring him to Phandalin, and that's where we had left off on the road to Phandalin.
Perfect.
So what we have here is some more words for me to read out of this book thing here. And what we've got there is, when the characters arrive in Phandalin, read this. The rutted track emerges from a wooded hillside, and you catch your first glimpse of Phandalin.
Phandalin.
The town consists of 40 or 50 simple log buildings, some built on old fieldstone foundations. More old ruins, crumbling stone walls covered in ivy and briars, surround the newer houses and shops, showing how this must have been a much larger town in centuries past. Most of the newer buildings are set in the sides of the cart track, which widens into a muddy main street of sorts as it climbs toward a ruined manor house on a hillside at the east side of town. As you approach, you see children playing on the town green and townfolk tending to chores or running errands at the shops. Many people look up as you approach, but all return to their business as you go by. And Sildar says, he seems much more at ease once you arrive at Phandalin. And he says, "My friends, let us secure lodgings. I'm told the local inn is very quaint."
As long as you're paying, sure.
Well, he does owe us money for getting him here.
Oh, no, that doesn't come out of my salary. That's extra perks.
Extra perks.
I mean, we did save him.
We did save his life. The
We
least
probably
he could do is buy a girl a
also
drink.
want to drop these supplies off before they get stolen or lost or broken.
I'm
The
sure
wizard
it
will
was,
watch him.
he volunteered me.
I did.
No.
What time of day is it?
We're going to say midday, because we don't have anything else to go by. Midday works for me.
Unless anyone wants to go drinking, there's not really any reason to go to the inn yet.
He wants to secure lodgings. That's what Sildar
Well,
wants to do.
are we allowed to do the
You're allowed to do whatever you like.
Well, it's not like that because it's encounter. It's like a pre-written thing.
It is, but
Maybe
you're
we
going to
have
pick.
to go to the inn.
You're
No,
going to
we
pick
don't,
from a
'cause
pre-written thing.
We don't need a chaperone.
Right.
We can let him go secure our lodging
If you
while
like.
we deal with the supplies.
Getting paid.
Now, I need to know
Getting
if this place is nice that we're going to be staying, or if I
It's
have more,
quaint.
if I have other options, because I don't stay at like hillbilly inns.
Well, and Sir Walter Moss, you may recall that I basically saved your life not very long ago, so I don't no longer stay at hillbilly places either.
Aha! So you're the pool boy.
I got a pool boy.
The Stonehill Inn that Sildar suggests is it's a newly rebuilt roadhouse of fieldstone and rough-hewn timbers. It's the inn at the center of town.
Well, that does sound nice, but I'll have to take a look later.
Out of the inn that is here, it's the best one.
Oh,
How large a town, like to walk end to end, do we think this is?
it's a one-in town, so
yeah, I mean, it's
It's the one.
Fairly
Let's give
small.
I'll give you a quick look here. This is the map they give me. You guys don't get the whole thing. It's not big.
okay.
Phandalin is not large.
it's like we've arrived in western Pennsylvania.
Yeah, and you're arriving. Technically,
I
you
know
guys are
exactly
arriving.
what you're talking about.
You're arriving from the north up here. That's the Tribor Trail that you were on. So you're coming into town here, and that
Are the Who's singing when we arrive?
everyone. So where do you guys want to? You had some notes there.
Okay, so we got that additional stuff from the hideout
Right.
that had a blue lion on it,
Yep.
which we were, I think, told at the time that was a business in Phandalin.
But who told us? Was it?
Yes, if the characters retrieve the stolen goods from the Cragmaw hideout, they might want to return them to the rightful owner.
We do, as
Okay.
long as there is a reward.
As long as there's some recompense.
Well, we
But-
know that we're going to get paid for delivering the wagon. Why don't we
Yes.
start by doing that.
I mean,
we need
yeah.
a wagon to haul the goods. I
Yeah.
don't want to carry this shit around.
Yeah.
God,
There you
that's why,
go.
That's why we have a smart, erudite wizard.
Yes. All right.
It's a good point.
So first, then you'll visit the Lion Shield Coster. That is the place where the Lion Shield provisions belong. When you arrive at that building, hanging above the front door of this modest trading post is a sign shaped like a wooden shield with a blue lion painted on it. Just like
Sounds
the
familiar.
mark. Yeah.
It
Blue
looks like
Lion
the stuff on
Company.
the-
Okay.
But
So inside is a human woman in her mid-30s, and who's going in, I guess, is the first
I'll be
question.
happy.
I
Go
shall
ahead.
be going in.
Okay. So high elf and human.
Yes.
Okay. Well, she looks up from behind the counter, and she snaps at you. Yes, what do you want?
Hello, gentle lady. We have recovered your supplies from the ruffians that stole it. We thought that you might want it back and maybe appreciate our service to your business, your fine establishment.
Well, that sounds good, but where is it? I want to see if it's in great shape.
It's right outside in our nice wagon.
Oh, nice wagon. All right. She'll follow you out if you're going to show
Yep.
her. And she looks everything over pretty quickly. Yes, this is everything we were missing. I would give you 50 gold pieces to return it as a reward for your work.
I don't know. Do we think that that's good recompense for our efforts? I mean,
Are you saying
nearly
that out
died.
loud in front of her?
I'm kind of doing like a little huddle.
Okay. So you bring everyone to the side.
50 gold pieces.
I don't know. Is that good recompense?
That seems.
Who has the rule book handy? Because one of the things I wanted to get was an idea of what actual gold pieces mean here. What's a sword cost?
Let's see.
Right. I want to get an idea. What are your regular things? Because I can tell you, in this adventure, at the beginning of this adventure, 50 gold pieces is a bunch.
Yeah,
yeah, I mean,
it's
they were
like
giving us 50 for
double
delivering
what
the
I
wagon.
started.
A longsword costs 15 gold pieces.
Right. So, thinking that that's going to be your weapon for half your lifetime, that 50 is a substantial sum.
And
Okay.
it
so
is.
go ahead.
It's 50 for the whole group, right? Not 50.
She
like,
gives 50 gold pieces for the return of the provisions.
All right.
Yep.
So we would technically get like about 15.
12.50 each.
You have to divide it
Okay.
into electrum pieces.
There you go.
first.
Look at that math. Look at that math from the dwarf.
I'm just going to keep mine as gold pieces, and I say we should take it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because what else are we going to do with it?
You're here.
Okay.
Take the actual pieces because it's probably worth more.
Yeah, but then we'd have to figure out where we could sell them and.
I know,
Maybe
but I'm just
crummy
saying. He asked for options.
People.
Yeah.
I'd like to go find my cousin, and therefore would vote for selling and moving on to bigger and better things.
10-4. Let's do it.
All right. So
Fine.
she's grateful for the return of the items, and if you need anything else while you're in town, you can
10%
come by,
discount, right?
Come by the trading post, and we can work out a
Actually,
deal.
I need new shoes.
What kind of goods does she sell? Is she a general store?
She keeps a supply of armor and weapons, all of which are for sale to interested buyers. For prices, see adventuring gear in the rulebook.
All right.
Can I get new shoes? Do you have shoes for halflings?
Half shoes for halflings.
Half shoes.
There's probably a
I
children's
get
section.
what you did there, and you didn't even do it. That's awesome. I mean,
Bagels?
I'm Joe. I'm going to say yes.
Okay.
If you want shoes, whatever shoes
need new
cost,
shoes.
you get them.
No, I want them for free.
For free? Well, you can have two that you can, one that you can split into
One that I can
two.
split- No, it doesn't work that way. Right. So
Are shoes actually listed there? I mean, if shoes are in,
Do you have a healer's kit in your?
right, if shoes are in the
repertoire?
adventuring stuff and they have a cost, you would be asked to pay that as a technicality.
We should pick up one.
I also would really like some rope because it's weird that I don't have it.
You have chain. You should see if you sell the chain.
I have hempen rope.
All right, I will sell the
He
chain
is-
if I can.
He's been able to hang himself without a rope.
Oh, yeah, you should sell the chain.
Yeah,
That's that's heavy.
I have
See if we can trade it for a healer's
I
kit.
have 3 pieces of chain if they have chain cost.
Yeah, I guess I would. That's what I would defer to. Otherwise, there's no interest in it. If there's not a cost in the book, then I would say that they have no interest in it because that's what they sell is what's in the book. So you're going to be here at the trading post apparently for a few minutes while you're talking.
Yeah.
And, her name, by the way, if anyone wants to write it down, is Linene, Linene. And she apologizes a little bit for having snapped at you when you walked in, but they've had a bunch of troubles with the Red Brands recently, and they just don't want any more trouble. This branch of the Lion Shield Custer Trading Post has just had way too much trouble than it's worth recently, and they've actually been thinking of shutting it down and just abandoning the town altogether.
You hang in there, good lady.
Red
Your services are very well needed in this frontier town.
Curiously, Joe,
Yeah,
what
that's
is
a
the
try.
inn's level of comfort? The options in the
Ask me
book
this
are
question.
squalid, poor, modest, comfortable, wealthy, or aristocratic.
I'm thinking it would probably be modest comfortable.
I'm thinking modest. This is a frontier town.
Because
Yeah.
we go from 7 copper to 4 gold per day.
2 gold.
So,
Aristocrat.
if the characters decide to stay here, see food, drink, and lodging in the rulebook for pricing. I assume that's what you're looking at.
Yes.
But it doesn't tell me what level it is.
So, modest or
however,
comfortable would probably be
if you
about-
don't stay here, you can camp outside of town if you want.
This is true.
That's really what it boils down to. What
I don't think Sir
what are
Walter
the
Moss is
levels
very
again? How many levels are there?
6 levels.
Then we'll go 2.
So
Not
it's
the
the-
bottom one, but the next one up.
So it's poor.
Most likely, it's a struggling town trying to put itself back
1
together.
silver piece per day.
That's what I'm going to give it, unless I find something else in here in the meantime. That's what it's going to be.
I would definitely like to procure a healer's kit from the general store.
Yes,
How much?
That is
it will be the price in the book.
5 gold pieces.
There you go.
That's
And-
coming out of your share.
That's
Is-
coming out of all of our share because that keeps us alive.
Is there rope?
There is rope.
Yeah,
You can have my rope.
At
I
this
have 50
point,
feet of hempen
Do
rope.
you want
All right.
silk or hempen rope?
I mean, if he's going to give up his rope, I'll take the rope.
the
What
the
about
book-
the chain?
the
Can
book
I sell that?
The book
There-
specifically says that she has a supply of armor and weapons, but keeping in my own traditions, it's going to be anything in the book, any mundane equipment in the book. This is the trading post for the
Right.
town.
I'd like to ask
You're
her
not going to find the ever-burning torch here.
if I could, since she mentioned the Red Brands, whether
Yeah.
she knows where I might possibly find Darren Ettermath, who I understand is somewhere in town. And
I'm not sure. Is he part of the Red Brands?
That's
what she's asking you.
He, my understanding is, would like to get rid of them. So it sounds like his and your interests may be aligned.
Well, if he keeps an eye on them, then he's probably watching the Sleeping Giant Tap House. That's where they hang out.
Sleeping Giant Tap House.
Yes.
And could I inquire after Sister Gariel? She's a priestess of Timora.
Your best bet is probably going to be the more people you want to know or talk to, just go ask the people around the inn. More often, people are walking in and out of there. I don't spend too much time chatting with people in the trading post because I'm generally hostile to them.
And she said it just like that.
I'm glad that we managed to get on your good side.
All right, so I think we've got 50 gold pieces. We've got a little information.
We have 45 gold pieces.
45.
There you go.
Would anyone be opposed to perhaps? I'm not really sure because I don't trust my gut instincts, but maybe getting rid of the wagon and getting our reward for delivering it?
Yeah, let's
Yeah,
do
let's
that.
go turn in the
And then
wagon.
go catch some Z's?
So who wants to
Say he
be the
doesn't trust
central
his
bank?
gut instincts.
I was going to divide up 45. So
No,
we get our
just
share.
Yeah.
central bank it. It's so much easier.
No.
This is Sir Walter Moss's
Yeah,
money.
we want our
No one's going to hold Sir Walter Moss's
From the
money.
from the character perspective, I would understand that.
Well, the healer's
from
kit
that, yeah.
came out of the group
Right.
money then, anyway. So,
So we get
divide 45.
We get 11 and a quarter instead of 12 and a half.
Why don't we have Sir Walter Moss be the banker, and therefore
don't
he could
trust
hold
him.
all the money,
I wouldn't.
I'll slit his throat in the night if he takes my share.
My investment skills are top notch.
Top-notch investment.
By the time we leave this town, I will own it.
Now, to whom do we have to return the wagon?
I think
Look at
it's
the
just
wagon.
a general store or something.
The wagon itself was going to Barthen's Provisions.
That's correct. Barthen's.
Right.
You're rich.
And
Can we stroll on down the road to Barthen's and see what we can find?
And Barthen's Provisions is the biggest trading post. That's actually, so you had to go down the road past the center of town, slightly past what is called the town green, and the townmaster's hall. Almost across the street was the Lion Shield Coster where you went. Then going back towards where you first came in is Barthen's Provisions. So you're just backtracking a little to get there. And all right, so because we began with the adventure hook, the orders are to deliver the wagon of supplies to Barthen's. Barthen, what is his first name? Elmar Barthen. Gosh, I'm going to take a half a minute here and complain a little again about the structure here. It tells me the important NPCs, and one of them is Elmar Barthen, but it doesn't remind me even what his race is. So I want to tell you.
Definitely a halfling.
He's humming.
I don't know. I want to tell you
Yeah,
who
against
he
halflings.
is.
I mean, his name is like Elmo, so it's definitely
Elmar.
a halfling.
All right, here we are. He is a lean and balding human male shopkeeper of
There you go.
50 years with a kindly manner. All right, so there you go. So when you get to Barthen's Provisions, you see Elmar. He has a couple of young clerks there. Perhaps he has his own pool boys.
His
And
voice for sale.
the pool boys for sale. Let me just see if he's supposed to greet you in a certain way. All right, so you arrived there with the wagon, and who's going in to talk to this dude?
I
We'll
am.
do this again. Okay.
I'm
So
happy to talk
yeah.
to anyone.
he,
By the way, what is your appearance? Have you tidied up at all?
he saw
I mean-
goblin guts.
It's hard to say because, like, before we went into that cave, the hideout, I think I used some cloth to clean up my armor. So I don't know if during that fight, if I would have gotten messed up again.
You went up a dung tunnel.
It's not a dung tunnel. It
Yeah.
was a trash tunnel.
Yeah, the garbage disposal.
But chances are I'm probably still somewhat dirty.
Yeah, and nobody wanted to go check in at the inn, maybe clean up. So
I'm going to
that's all-
retcon a little bit
yeah,
and
that's all
say
your
before we
fault.
went into the first place,
Yeah.
I prestidigitate you and myself.
Ew,
That is...
disturbing.
That's the most fun you've had all month.
It's probably,
Yeah.
probably very
It's a
well
very thorough cleaning.
I need to learn that spell because I really appreciate
Essentially,
it.
what you saw is like all the just everything that was not supposed to be there just kind of slough off.
Did you prestidigitate the whole group?
I protected myself and him.
Why?
No one else asked for it.
I want to prestidigitate.
Did you see it happen?
Right now, she's feeling very funky. She's got a high ponytail.
Yeah.
Her shoes are busted. She needs a shower.
I
We
want-
don't
yeah, I was
need to
gonna
go
say,
to the inn.
I
Here's-
just
here's
saw my
some-
50 gold pieces, and then we'll go to the inn and clean up.
There you go.
Finger waggle.
So, Barthen will greet you. Hi, welcome to Barthen's Provisions. What can I do for you?
I understand we have some goods for you, sir.
You understand that?
A whole cart of them.
Great. Where's Gundren and Sildar? They never arrived. They were supposed to be here before
we
you.
rescued Sildar, but we understand...
Rescued?
Yes. There was some complications on the way.
Okay.
Their ponies became shish kebabs. So, now...
Shish kebabs.
Now,
It's a tribal meat where they grill meat over sticks.
yeah.
Okay.
But anyway, we recovered Sildar. We think we know where Gundren is, but we haven't gotten to him yet. We wanted to make sure that your stuff arrived here nice and safe and sound.
And we don't want to take care of it anymore.
So you don't know where Gundren is?
Now, we have an idea. I think he's at the Cragmaw Castle.
That's a
but,
shame. I mean, Gundren's a good friend. Could you guys rescue him?
Oh, yeah.
I
no
mean, you
problem.
rescued Sildar.
I mean, he's like, this guy's his like cousin or something. So
Is this guy in there? That guy out there.
I like
guy
point out the
outside.
window.
Yeah.
So
The guy outside there.
Yeah, no, our intention is to rescue Good Gundren. It's just we wanted to take the load off our minds, if you will, and give you the load.
it's also hard to sneak up on people when you have a wagon with 2 oxen.
Okay.
With
So
whatever
he
sound
sent.
they make.
He signals his clerks. He says, Ander, Thistle, go out and check the wagon. And the 2 boys go outside and go to check things out. So the Gundren hired you guys to bring the wagon here?
Well, we were told that when we arrived at this fine establishment, that we would be paid 10 gold apiece to make sure that this supplies got to you safe and sound. And as you can see, very safe, very sound.
Very well. So 20 gold pieces then.
No, there's actually 4 of us, so we would like
okay,
10
okay.
apiece.
Sure, we can do that. And he'll go count some coins out and he hands the 40 gold pieces to you. And he says, you mentioned that the dwarf outside is a cousin to the Rockseekers. You may be interested to know that Nundro and Tharden are camped somewhere outside of town as well. So he may want to go visit his cousins. I haven't seen them.
At that point, I hear from outside the name. And
I haven't
inside.
seen them. So then you would arrive inside when you hear him say, I haven't seen them in 10 days, but we know they were camped out there waiting for Gundren to arrive.
And we
10 days is a
probably
long
would
time.
have. We probably would have passed them coming in. Yeah.
Somewhere outside of town. You guys came in this road, and they're somewhere outside of town.
But if you're going to camp and you have a predetermined route,
You're going to read logic into a pre-written adventure. Sorry.
yes,
Well, I'm sure that
He tells you
Thor
that
would
they are camped
love to
somewhere
go
outside
find
of
them,
town.
so I think that'll be on our priority list.
So what's the shopkeeper's name?
Gosh. His last name is Barthen, and his first name, Elmar.
Elmo.
Elmar.
Elmar.
You remind me of my
Can we-
Uncle Lyle. Have you heard of Halia Thornton? Does the name Halia Thornton ring a bell?
Lyle Thornton.
Master Elmar?
Yes-ish. Hold, please. Your query is important to me. Please continue to hold.
She's a polo player, right?
Yes, this, again, it tells me this is an important NPC, but it doesn't tell me where to find her. It should be somewhere. And
See, listeners, if this was
you're sitting or playing with the mic, it's cutting out.
yeah.
Not there. It's probably on the pack itself.
So
All right.
if this were like not a pre-gen,
Yeah.
if this was Joe's encounter, Holly Thornton would have a family. She would have hobbies. She would probably even have a strange birthmark that he could explain in detail.
But
Since he has to look through the book,
it's
he is just trying to find something, anything.
she's a resident here, so I'm going to tell you that because she has a house, and I'm guessing that's where you would find her. So yes, I've heard of her. She lives down towards the south of town. I don't know that much more about her.
okay.
How about that?
I thank you.
But he gives you directions on where you could find her house. How about
Perfect.
that? If you're looking for her, go down the road a bit and turn left, and then her house is on the right. After you go a bit.
A bit.
Yes.
Is that a bit for a human or a bit for a halfling?
All right, a double bit.
Thank you.
You'll need to double bit your way there. All right.
I'd like to ask if you know where Cragmaw Castle is. We may have reason to go there in the near future. Have you heard of it?
Yeah, we've been so busy around here with the Red Brands that it's been impossible to concentrate on anything outside of the town. Just trying to keep things in order. They're messing with business. It's just been a pain.
We keep hearing about those red brands. They sound like bad guys.
Yeah, ruffians. A lot of them.
Ruffians.
Ruffians. It's
That
actually a
doesn't
common
sound very
theme in here.
ominous.
They use the word ruffians a lot.
It doesn't sound very ominous being ruffian.
Well, maybe if we find your other cousins, like Nunzio and Derek, they would know where Cragmaw Castle is.
Nunzio and Derek. Nunzio rocks here. All we know is that they're outside of town. Maybe we should go to the inn and have a shower and ask around and have some dwarven ale while we're there.
Agreed.
Of course.
Why dwarven? Yuck.
Oh, it does the job.
It does
Does the job quick. Do we have any other errands that we know we have to run before?
No, but if we find Sildar again, who should be at the inn, he does owe us some money for saving his life and bringing him to town.
Yes, he did promise 50 gold pieces for the safe trip to Phandalin.
We're going to be rich.
We are
rich.
I like how we make sure our financial orders are squared away before life savings happen.
I made some notes on that.
Our focus on money.
I am here for the dollars.
So,
make no mistake.
at the Stonehill Inn, Sildar has found a room and has also paid for 4 rooms for you guys as well.
See, I told you he'd
Okay.
cover it.
That's a
And
solid.
That's a solid. The proprietor of the Stonehill Inn is a short, young human male named Toblin Stonehill. Let's see. All right, so, and there's a common room. It's filled with locals nursing mugs of ale or cider, and all of them eye you curiously as you enter.
No, Bree doesn't think anything of it. She gets eyed weird every time she walks into a room. So
Really,
she's just
who
like,
doesn't, huh?
"Hi, where's my room?"
I will walk in and say, "Hello, all. I am Sir Walter Moss, and I'm here to help you."
For a price.
Good.
I don't need to put that caveat. That
Several
is
of
implied.
several of the people at the tables turn to murmur to each other, and not a whole lot of credence is given to your statement.
So,
Although you are clean now, that's a plus.
I am
Yeah.
which way to the room?
super clean.
I'm going to saddle up to the bar again and see if I can find some information about Darren Edermath, who I know wants to clear the town of Red Brands. Since I've been hearing so much about these dastardly villains, I want to make sure that I take care of them right after I convince my friends to help find my illustrious cousin, Gundar Rockseeger.
All right.
But while I'm waiting to see if the bartender knows anything about where Darren Edermath is,
Because you gave the name, so as a pre-published adventure, they have several bullets of rumors. So since you gave that name, I'm picking out a rumor that has the name in it for you. That's why it's taking me a second. And nicely enough, Elsa, the barmaid, tells you Darren Edermath, he's the orchard keeper. He's actually a former adventurer.
Ooh. What kind of orchard? Is it apples or peaches?
It's a the orchard.
Cherry.
It's just a lot of trees with the letters T, H, and E hanging from them.
well, they're drinking cider.
Delicious.
Yes.
Delicious.
Although it could be anything.
So, do we have our own rooms,
Typically apple.
or are we rooming together?
4 rooms have been procured for you. Now,
you can
if
share
you
with
want
me
to,
if you
No,
want. Sir Walter
I was
Moss.
actually going to ask Ferris to super prestidigitate my room so that I don't have to scrub the whole place down.
so
I can give it a pass over for a fee of 5 gold.
I would be happy to give you 5 gold for that.
for Thor, Elsa would ask what is your interest in Darren? I mean, what was the
What's it?
Well, my understanding is that he's looking for some people that might teach the Red Brands a lesson. Tired of having the town being bullied by them, and between you and me, Elsa, before I started on this adventure, I dealt with a lot of thugs in my life. They were soldiers, but they were thugs in their own way, and I just don't like them. So I may see if I, in my own little way, can help the town out against these ruffians, if you will.
Well, I mean, you sound a lot like Darren. He's been talking a lot of the same way. He's been looking for people to take down the Red Brands.
We might be the right people. We might not.
When you
We have
say
to talk to
when
Sir-
you say we, you and
My army.
Me and my army. So
Right.
But we heard that those Red Brands hang out at some tavern. Is that true?
Yes,
the
yes.
Sleeping
they,
Giant Tap House.
they frequent the Sleeping Giant. It's nothing like the Stonehill Inn. I mean, Elsa's going to brag about her own inn, but that Sleeping Giant's a rundown, nasty place that they've taken over.
Well, I would think so. They are ruffians, after all.
They are ruffians.
Does she know how many there might be there? I mean, are there 3 Red Brands in town, or are there 300?
Just 3 of them.
Yeah.
They all lined up at the bar.
all 3 of them are just hanging out there. No, nobody I know of has really gotten a count of them. But I mean, there might be more people around who are familiar with it. Since they don't come in here, I don't have to deal with them very often, thankfully.
How much do you know about them? Because I'm curious if they use like scare tactics, or like how do they get people to join them?
And why do they call them Red Brands?
Why do they call? Well, somebody who's been with the Red Brands before.
I'm not with them. I'm in my room getting cleaned up.
So let's see if. All right. So one of the things while you're talking there at the bar, there's a lady who is also sitting at the bar, and she turns over and she tells you that those Red Brands, there's so many of them, they hassle every business in town except for that dang Phandalin Miners Exchange. They leave them alone.
What is the Phandalin Miners Exchange?
It's this building right here on the map.
So essentially, we're dealing with the Union.
It's actually right down. It's another trading post because Phandalin's just building back up again. It's another trading post, and the local miners actually frequent that trading post the most often.
They probably bring their bags of little powder of some stuff and pour it into the scale, and then they're like,
she tells
you can get 4 picks for that.
The Phandalin Miners Exchange is actually, it's the place where it's all out-of-towners. So this lady sitting at the bar, it's like, it's all out-of-towners that think they're going to make millions of gold in the hills, and there's not really much there anymore. They're just wasting everyone's time. It's all out-of-towners. I mean, no offense, dwarf.
What about him? What about them?
No offense, non-dwarf.
None taken, lady.
Because you're clearly out-of-towners. Nobody here was from Phandalin.
How much time has gone by?
I was going to say, I think we should regroup and decide if we want to sleep or if we want to go off and save someone.
Not long. One thing that I am, noticing here is not a whole lot is given to the credence of time and the passage of time. So at any given time here, we're just going to say it's light out until we have a need to say otherwise.
Would you say it's been enough time for Bree to get cleaned up and back to her halfling self?
She doesn't have a whole lot to clean, right?
I mean, it's half of her.
But she does have half-size hands to do it.
I was going to ask Sodar why we didn't meet up with the 2 camping outside.
All right, so you find Sildar. See, and this is another thing where I've got to flip back and forth, so bear with me and talk amongst yourselves for a moment.
So
Sildar paid us, right? Or did he just not?
Yeah, in the interim, we can say Sildar paid you, so you've got your 50 gold there.
So you would get another 12.5.
Go ahead, Bree.
So now that she's regained the group, are you going to tell her what you've learned?
Well, I will tell you, lovely Bree, that I would like to, at some point, head out to the orchard to meet with Darren Edermath, who I understand knows quite a bit about the Red Brands and is looking for help, perhaps, in ridding the town of their, if not evil, at least irritating presence.
Nefarious.
Although I've got to say, to be honest, I feel a little more compelled to go find my cousin, who I love and idolize, and who might be being tortured by some horrible creature right now as we speak.
His brothers also seem to be missing at the moment, too.
For grand adventurers, the Rock Seekers are in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, they seem to be caught quite easily.
Has anyone heard anything additional about Talia?
No.
Did you remember to ask, Wizard?
Why?
No one asked.
We don't even know
We don't know how
is.
it is. We just know that she's like asking for
So,
the random chick.
We know
I'll
where
just-
her house is.
I'll throw in there for you that it is mentioned while you're listening for rumors and stuff in the common room that Halia lives down near the Phandalin Miners Exchange, and she can be found there sometimes.
Perfect. So
Just to loop that one in
we
as well.
definitely want to go down to the Miners Exchange.
So I guess just to fit with what you were saying there, JJ, Ferris would find that the two rock seekers were indeed camped out in the south on the Miners Trail, but even people going to and from town haven't reported seeing them in several days.
All right. So, here's a plan. Since they're in the south anyway, and the Miners Exchange is also in the south, and so is the awesome guy and his orchard.
And the Red Brand.
Is he to the south?
The
Did I say that?
lady that she
Talia?
wants to talk
No,
to.
the orchard is west of town center.
Well, there's a lot of stuff to the south.
So from where you are right now in Barthen's Provisions, just to give you an idea, Barthen's Provisions, the orchard is here. The Miners Exchange and Hallia's house are down here. You were at the Lion Shield Custer there. Miners Trail is down here where they were supposedly camped.
And where's
out.
our inn?
Your inn is right here.
Now, what
So
information
the
are we
orchard
looking
is
to get
technically
from
the
Halia?
closest.
She is someone who's also looking to bring down the Red Brands.
Okay.
So Bree is interested in talking to her because Bree has a bone to pick with the Red Brands. They try to kill her.
All right.
I think the more information we can get about them before we head towards them, the better. Maybe we should go talk to Thalia.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about that?
Agreed.
Yeah,
Well, I'm not really sure.
I mean, if we're going to get Red Brand information, we might as well get both of them.
Yeah, I mean, we have a source right here. Why did you join the Red Brands?
For fortune,
So
I
did
was-
you seek them out, or did they seek you out?
I sought them out. I joined their group. I was basically, so she gives you her whole backstory. You know, she's the only child in her for her parents. Her parents were older. They had her later on in life. They didn't think they were going to have children. So she grew up very protected and very sheltered, and thus very bored. So first chance she got to run away, she ran away from home and joined this group.
So, in essence, what I take away from this backstory is that we should question your decision-making skills.
No,
But-
wizard.
When Sir Walter Moss is bored, he took up King's Chess. He did not join a gang.
I mean, think about it. A halfling, a female halfling alone, she's going to look for a group where she can find protection, right? So she's drawn to this area for riches untold, and she fell in with a rough group. And someone in that group tried to kill her. She ran away, but now she wants to find out who tried to kill her.
Now, did they try to kill you because you were planning on leaving the group?
No. She had no intent of leaving the group.
Oh, look at that.
I'm all for kicking some Red Brand butt, but I feel like my missing cousin
I'm
or
wondering-
cousins might be
yeah.
a more pressing problem.
I mean, we could try to seek out the two cousins, and then go after the other cousin, and then once we finish that up, come back and do all Red Brand stuff. That's all right. I'm not pretty anyway.
I was trying to tell you before, but you're not paying attention.
So we are going to be going after the Cragmaw Castle then. Like that is our main goal currently.
Yes.
I would
All
defer
right.
to your judgment, but that
You-
sounds like a plan.
And if that's the goal, then we know that it is inhabited by goblins, and I know that the priest of Timora, Sister Gariel, can aid me in helping me cleanse that defiled altar out there. So I don't know what kind of aid she could offer in our dealings with the goblins out there in that area.
Is she in Phandalin?
She is. She's at the,
Place that nuns hang out at.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah. What was the name again?
Sister Gariel,
Yes. Okay.
a priest
There.
of... I don't get it. Like, Sister
Timora.
Gariel, a priest of Timora.
Yes.
Wouldn't it be priestess, like, or do they just gender neutrify that
Hey,
as well?
My
This is-
important NPC section says she is the elf cleric of Timora.
Equal rights. And
Yeah.
priest for everyone.
Because I mean, you know how it no longer hostess or stewardess; it's just steward, host,
There you go.
Actor.
Executor.
actor, not actress.
All right. So what
Okay.
what are we deciding on?
All right.
The red
So-
brands have been.
It sounds like that would be helpful for the whole
Going out to
thing.
rescue.
So maybe that would be good, and then we try to find the cousins.
Do we know where Cragmore Castle is, or do we need to find that out?
I
We
think it's
know
to
a
the
general
north.
area.
Okay.
I think it's like way to the north. Like even more to the north than that hideout was.
How do you know?
I don't know if I know it because I know it, or I know it because I looked at the map.
I can tell you nothing in this adventure so far has pointed you to it. Nothing that you guys have gone through has pointed you to it. If you remember the first time we did this, and then we ended up redoing it, it was only in that first time that it was even mentioned. The Cragmore Castle hasn't been mentioned as far as
No, I know about it.
I mean,
Well, it hadn't been mentioned in the gameplay.
Okay.
That's what I mean.
I thought it was mentioned when...
We interrogated the goblin in the first playthrough.
No, but I thought when we got... what is his name?
Sildar?
Yeah,
Well, let
I
me-
thought when we got him back...
That's a possibility.
that he
Let me
said
see.
that they took him off and like he's being held by someone with a very ominous name like
Yeah, Black
Yeah.
Spider.
like the Black
That's
Spider or
right.
something.
But is that what he said? Because that could be true. That was at the end. Give me a second. And
You're so bad at this, Joe.
I
I
can't
know.
remember
If they didn't have
names
to
at
print
all.
stuff all over the place for me, Sildar is a guy, and he's a human wizard. No, he's not. He knows a human wizard. That was his contact there.
Wizard Harry.
So, yeah, he believes that Clark, Sildar told you that he believed Clark sent the map and the dwarf to the chief of the Cragmaws at a place called Cragmore Castle, but he did not know where it is, so it was mentioned.
Okay.
So
we
he
have to find
doesn't
where
know
it
where
is.
it is.
That is correct. He does not know where it
And
is.
as priestess would probably know.
Yes.
She might.
If she knows where the defiled altar is, she knows where Cragmore Castle is. That sounds like a legitimate next step.
All right.
Could
Why don't we
be.
do a circle of town and go see the priestess and see the orchardmen and see Thalia and
All
then
right.
Halia, excuse me, and then consider our.
So basically, what you
next
want to do is fill our quest log.
steps. And then we can choose.
Let's do it, right. So press Q to bring up the quest log. And so what you see on the list there.
At least it's
is-
not Skyrim. We won't have 422 active quests.
So then you'll click on the one at the top that says Shrine of Luck.
Yep.
That's going to give you a gold arrow on the screen.
Yep.
That points down to the south.
Okay, let's go
All
to
right,
south.
So let's head that way. And when you get closer, the arrow turns a little bit, and you follow the arrow over there.
I want to.
and
I want to
you're-
find an add-on though to
Yeah.
change up my HUD.
Okay. What does it look like?
I don't know.
Okay. So now it just says in 500 yards, turn right. You reach the Shrine of Luck, and it's a temple, and it's a small shrine made of stones taken from nearby ruins dedicated to Timora. And you see there, with a golden question mark above her head,
Okay.
is Sister Gariel.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
What does she look like?
She is a young elf.
Smoking hot.
I was not expecting that.
So
I was expecting it
I will
to be a
approach
troll.
her. I will approach her
Yes.
and say that my
Sexually
god,
repressed young elf.
Okay.
my god Ogma has bade me to seek you out in effort to help my endeavor.
And you are?
I am Barris Dustbringer, and
Great.
I need your help in reconsecrating a altar of Ogma whose altar has been defiled by Maglubiet and those who worship her.
Maglubiet.
Okay. Harper's kind of got me busy right now. I'm actually looking for help myself. I've been given a kind of a delicate mission that I don't know if everyone should hear.
Is it raking the yard?
I've got to rake the yard, and I've got to go try and get a spell book back from a banshee, and it's kind of that's what I got to do right now. I can't really help you with what you need. I got to pray to Timora for a little while.
Are you capable of getting a spellbook back from a Banshee, or do you need help with this thing?
She's got the yellow question mark above her head, just so you know.
And Banshee, you want to eradicate that shit. You know you do.
And you see now in your quest log, the Banshee's Bargain. So there's a new quest there.
Sweet, let's
We're
do
going
it.
to play it that way. That's just fun. Why not?
Let's do it. I like it.
Yeah.
It'll
Because
help
it's
other
printed
people.
right here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's got her own work to do right
All right,
now.
quest accepted.
And the Harpers are doing that. So you're just going to add that to your log.
Spellbook for you, Banshee killing for me.
Heck yeah. Win-win situation. Plus, we get to find out where Cragmaw Castle is.
I mean, she probably wants the spellbook back.
Yeah, but I can copy your spells out of it first.
And I need to take a quick look at what that actually leads to. So talk amongst yourselves again for a minute.
Wait
So
a minute.
Banshees,
When
huh?
did Banshees get into the mix? Last time I heard we were going after red brands.
Yeah, but-
technically on page 18.
So
Banshees are so
we need her help in order to find out, because no one seems to know
You
where
need her
Cragmaw.
help.
No one seems to know where Cragmaw Castle is. Mm-hmm. Which is where we know his cousin is.
Should we check with her to see if she knows where Cragmar is?
She just said she doesn't know.
Yeah, she does. She herself does not know where Cragmore Castle is. If you ask her directly, the answer is no.
So do we have a benefit that if we do this, that someone's going to know?
I have a sneaking feeling that the Red Bands know where Cragmore Castle is.
You think they're in league with the goblins?
I don't know about that, but since no one else seems to know,
Process of elimination.
process of elimination makes me think that they may.
Yeah, so
But-
you can log that quest for now and go on to the orchard, if you like.
Sure.
What was the hot young elf priestess's name?
He knows that one.
Gariel.
Gariel. Sister Gariel.
Correct.
No, it's Gary space L. I'm kidding. No,
Like Kala.
her name is Gary. Her name is Gary Larson.
She's the last daughter of Krypton.
Yeah, so you press Q, bring up the quest log, click on Eldermath Orchard, and off you go. You have your arrow pointing you to the orchard. And there is a fit, silver-haired half-elf. It looks very old. That's Darren
Ettermath.
Darren.
Edermath. Darren Edermath, yes, there it is. And he's there in his orchard. And this is another good one. The question came up, what kind of orchard? They really should put one word in here that says it somewhere. I'm sure I'll find it eventually.
Gooseberry.
Yeah, so he'll greet you there at the entrance to his orchard. Greetings.
Greetings.
What
good
brings
sir.
you to my apple orchard?
Really not sure.
He had to
Well,
look
I'd be
up to the
happy to-
trees to see the apples.
Step to the front and approach fine Darren Ettermath.
Now, technically, Kurt, on your character sheet, did you know him or just heard of him?
I have heard that he is in the town of Phandalin and looking for people of courage and principle.
All right, so
to teach
he
some bullies a
probably
lesson.
doesn't know you, and you'd probably
He'll
don't
have no
know him
idea
yet.
who I am, but
All right, go.
I will approach him respectfully and introduce myself, Thorin Stormstriker, and
Hello,
tell him,
Thorin. I'm Darren Ettermath.
Darren, how are you today? This
Great.
beautiful, fine day.
Great. It is a beautiful day for growing apples.
Well, I hope they grow well for
You
you.
can smell the ripe apples in the air.
They do smell delicious.
They do. Here, have one.
Why, thank you, Darren.
You
You're a
just
small
take
guy,
apples
looking
from
fit today.
Yeah. He puts the razor blade in it and hands it to you.
Random apples from strangers.
Well, Darren, you won't know me or us, but I have heard of you, and I've heard that you
Great.
might be looking for some people to help you with a bully problem.
Oh, he does have a yellow question mark above his head. Yes.
And to be frank, I don't like bullies, and even though I'm a small man, I have a big heart, and I might like to help you if you can tell me what you need.
Well, I'll tell you that the thing that's been troubling me the most recently is, aside from the red brands, of course, is there are people. I've heard from prospectors in the hills northeast of Phandalin that someone's digging around in the ruins known as the Old Owl Well, and several prospectors have actually been reported to me that they were chased away by undead, and that's gotten me pretty concerned.
By undead?
Undead,
Oh,
yes.
great.
I
What
was
do you
totally
mean
betting
by
on
undead?
Yetis.
Undead, like
Like undead warthogs or undead lich kings?
Well, let's go with, I don't know, Draco Lich. Why not? Skeletons or zombies or something. Their stories are mixed, but they sound genuine in the undead claim.
Necromancers.
And what is this Old Owl Well?
That's the ruins there. They're part of an old magical empire of Netheril, and it's most likely that people are just trying to loot the area, but it sounds like bad things are coming out of it.
There's a lot going on around Phandalin.
Yes, and there's like 50 pages of it.
Is there things worth looting at this well? That people are trying to loot it.
Well, you know, with the prospectors in the area, they think that there's something worthwhile to prospect. The mining there seems to be reasonable, but there's been some trouble in that area now. Of course, I would be remiss not to mention the Red Brands again. They are just a pain in the ass. It's really time someone took a stand against Glassstaff, their leader. He really needs to be taken down.
Glassstaff?
Yeah, it's all one word, too. I don't know why they did that.
Where is this Glassstaff?
Glass, Taff, all one word. Oh, they hang around the Sleeping Giant Tap House all the time. I'm sure he's bound to be found there, or one of them there would know where to find him.
See, I don't know. Are we looking to get into a bar brawl?
Yes.
Yes.
Well,
Eventually.
Mr. Wizard-looking fella, if you're not looking to get into a bar brawl, of course, the manor is where most people think their hideout is.
Oh, really? Where's the manor at?
There another arrow pops up and points
over
east.
there. Okay.
It's to the east of town. So part of that description entering Phandalin was there was a manor up on a hill. That's it. And it is Tresendar Manor. Just going with what Mike said earlier, if this was one I was making up, it would be words I could pronounce.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we have red brands at the...
It would be Jack's house.
The red bands can be
At the
regularly
Sleeping
found
Giant
at the
Tap
Sleeping
House,
Giant.
or
yeah.
at the manor, perhaps.
Well, the manor itself is what is believed to be the Red Brand safe house. Nobody's actually confronted them there, but you can find them at the Sleeping Giant anytime.
Well, I guess we should just go find Alia Thornton and get her side quest thing that it probably has nothing to do with Red Brands.
Yeah, so in your quest log now is a new one that says Old Owl Trouble.
Now, the white, or the Banshee, sorry,
Yeah.
is she located with the other undead? Or is she a separate undead?
Hell if I know.
think they're
If it's in this book somewhere, I'll
The
find
Banshees
it.
are undead as well. So is she hanging out with the other undead? Can we knock out 2 side quests in one?
Although I think
just really glad I got
they're
turned undead
pointing
at
in
level
different
2.
directions. But
Yeah.
I think that's
could be wrong.
probably a reason why we're getting undead now.
I think they're in different locations.
They very well might be. I know that the last one, the Banshee, well, not the Banshee one, the Old Owl Trouble, the one that Darren just mentioned is, it is a couple days march northeast of Phandalin. So that's one that you're going to go out of town for a few days to check
Oh,
that
wow,
one out.
okay.
All right. But that's him. Yeah, there you go. So that's the information you get from him. So you get a new optional side quest from him. And I don't know how we want to distinguish story quests from side quests.
I think he's got it going right now.
Okay, so the main one, so the red band quest is the orange of the story quest, and all the other ones are the yellow of side quests. How about that? There you go.
And
what did you want
I'd
to
say
do next?
Cragmore Castles.
Cragmaw
maybe?
Castle is not officially a quest yet. You want to rescue Gundren Rockseeker,
Right.
but
That's
it's
the big story.
Right.
We know
You
that's part of
haven't-
the overarching story. We don't have the breadcrumbs yet
Gotcha.
to get there.
You haven't found the NPC to give you that quest
Gotcha.
yet. How about that? Right now, you're still struggling around with the NPCs who can get you the quest that will get you that quest.
Je comprends.
Yeah, this might actually might be a decent reference for people who have played online games when they're listening to this.
Exactly.
Yeah, what we're going through here is all of the stuff to get you to that point. So being in Phandalin now, if you're going to the Phandalin Miners Exchange or to find Halia, technically, are we
It's a
doing
house.
that next? Halia Thornton?
Yeah, let's Let's go talk
I mean,
to
you
her.
have to walk past the miners' exchange to get to her house.
If there's a description of what's going on, but I don't want to stop there
Not really.
because I hear the ruffians.
There's ruffians.
Well, the miners' exchange is just another trading post where local miners visit most often.
That's the one place the red brands don't bother.
Yeah. Now, it is, in the absence of any lord or authority here in Phandalin, the Phandalin Miners Exchange is like a records office as well. It's serving as that in that capacity. So, Halia, it's great because they give her a house, but then they say she's at the Miners Exchange. So, guess where you're going?
We're going to the miners'
Yeah.
exchange.
Miners exchange.
So,
Maybe we should stop there just for a quick visit.
just for a moment,
Just on the
or two.
way.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
gonna
it
be-
is on the way.
That's going to be convenient. All right, so at the Phandalin Miners Exchange, Halia Thornton is inside.
We end this session with our party seeking Halia Thornton at the Phandalin Miners Exchange. Join us for the next session to see if they catch up with the Red Brand ruffians or set off on another quest. Thanks for joining us. The preceding podcast was brought to you by Shedcast. You can find us online at adventuresfromtheshed.com.